This is why you need to homeschool your kids. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Conservative View. As you can see, I got my Washington State shirt on, so we are going to be talking about a local story. So yesterday on Snapchat, this story coming out of my city, Tacoma, Washington, is saying that a middle school teacher handed out some flyers from Planned Parenthood. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put that flyer on the screen, and we are actually gonna go through what the flyer says. Alrighty, now that we have this up on the screen, let's actually go through it. So the top one, age of consent for sex. So the age of consent, it says, is 16, which is 16 years old. You can have sex with anyone of any age. So, but this is specifically gauged towards 15 years or less, and you'll see that. I mean, you can see it on the screen right now. It says right here, it is not a crime if you are 11 and have sex with someone 2 years older or less. So are we really talking about an 11-year-old having sex with a 9-year-old? Is that really something that, the schools should be pushing out? And I don't even know why Planned Parenthood would have something like this for such a young age, because I'm like, the parents should be the ones having conversations about sex at 11. And in the schools at that age, they need to be focusing on reading, writing, math, history, whatnot. You're not the parent. You don't need to be having that conversation. Let's go on. All right. It says 12 to 13, and once again, it is not a crime if you are 12 to 13 and have sex with someone who is 3 years older or less. So let's just say a 13-year-old having sex with a 10-year-old. Like that, this is just bizarre. Or even, like, it's still bizarre for a 13-year-old to be having sex with a 16-year-old. Because you can see, and we've probably all been through it, the maturity level between a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old, someone with a job, hopefully, someone who's driving, if they're responsible, and then having it with, someone who's just now going through puberty and whatnot. All right, let's go on. It is not a crime if you are 14 or 15 and have sex with someone who is 4 years older than you or less. Once again, so let's put it in this perspective. Would you want your 15-year-old daughter having sex with a 19-year-old boy? Or 19-year-old man, because at that point, he can vote, he can buy a rifle, he can join the military, he has to register for the draft. That's 19 years old, that's a grown man. And imagine your 15-year-old daughter who's, still, 9th grade, 9th, 10th grade, whatever, and she's having sex with someone who hopefully is graduated high school, but then again, the education system is ruining our kids. Obviously, that's why we're here. Or even a 15-year-old having sex with an 11-year-old. Like, that's just straight up bizarre. Like, this is crazy that they would be handing this out in a school. All right, let's go on. So, STD and HIV testing and treatment. If you are 14 years and older, you do not need your parents' permission or a guardian to get STD testing for HIV or get treatment. Now, in my eyes, this is definitely something I kind of see if they're like, hey, look, these options are available for you. Sure. But the parents need to be involved and know what their kids are doing. Like, because to me, this feels like they are promoting, hey, if you get into something, you can do this all behind your parents' back. Now, it may be in good faith, but at what point does a teacher realize, hey, I need to tell the parents, especially if the parents, are really trying to be involved, hey, their kid is getting tested for HIV. That is something serious. And I find it really bizarre that people would be like, yeah, it's perfectly fine. You don't need to tell your parents that you're getting tested for an uncurable disease. All right, let's go to birth control. You are allowed to get a prescription for birth control without your parents' or guardian's consent. Now, I would say 16 years old, sure. But if we're talking about 13, 14, 15 years old, and you're promoting, hey, you're allowed to do all this stuff without the parents' consent, this is really like showing the example that the teachers are trying to take over for the parents, and they want to be that driving factor on what those kids believe and what they learn and whatnot, because we already know the school system is just turned into indoctrination. That's why, they're really pushing for like critical race theory to be preached in the school. They don't want any aspect of the United States promoted as positive. They all want it to be promoted as negative. But yeah, let's not get off track. So let's keep going. Emergency contraceptive. You can buy Plan B emergency contraceptive at a local pharmacy without a prescription at any age. You may need a prescription for other types of emergency contraceptions. Okay, sure. But if a 12-year-old is going up there and like, I need emergency contraceptive, wouldn't you want to know who was the person that had sex with this 12-year-old girl? Wouldn't you want to know that? Because what if it was an uncle, a grandfather, a family friend, someone who sexually assaulted this girl who, did something bad? Wouldn't you want to know that? But are you just going to turn a blind eye and just be like, it's none of my business, I'm not going to tell the parents? That's just outright ridiculous. Now, let's go. And we're going to talk about abortion. This is a hot topic, and I don't know if YouTube's going to flag me for this, but I'm willing to take the chance. So it says you do not need any permission from your parents or guardian at any age to get an abortion. So I know a lot of people, when it comes to that, when their child gets pregnant at a young age, they say, hey, take it to term, give birth to the baby, and we will take care of it. So I don't care how poor you are, because I was raised in poverty, extremely poor, American poverty. So really, honestly, not that bad compared to the rest of the world. But I definitely would choose life over getting aborted. So you think, and once again, let's go back to the age. So at any age, you don't need your parents' permission to get an abortion. So a 12-year-old goes in there, I need an abortion. First off, where are the parents at to let this girl go away for so long and setting this stuff up, even though it's probably going to be set up by a teacher? Just because these teachers, as you can see, like over, the 2020 school year, when everything was on Zoom, these teachers were really, not digging the fact that now parents can see and actually know what they're teaching these kids. But yeah, I found this very interesting, and it's surprising because this is on the Daily Mail, which is a UK news organization. I didn't even see this in our local news. But I think that's all I got for this video right here. It was just real quick. It just got to me. So yeah, comment down below what you think of this. Do you think this is appropriate for a teacher to be handing out? And yeah, I guess it was Planned Parenthood used to be in the school, and they used to hand out these flyers or whatnot. But the teacher was disciplined. I want to put that in there. She was disciplined, and a statement was released, and I'll leave the link to that in the box below. But yeah, comment down below. Do you think this is acceptable to be handing out to middle schoolers? And do you think any of this stuff on this flyer is unacceptable? Do you have an understanding of it? Leave all your thoughts down there in the comments. Make sure you subscribe so I can keep bringing all this content to you guys, whether it's local or, global, because I do global stories and go all over the world to find stories. Yeah, and make sure you like this video and share it to get this information out, because if you got parents that are thinking about homeschooling and not really sure, this is a prime example why you should. But until next time, guys, peace.